Hello, Lego fans, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Brick Hour podcast. I am your host, JJ, also known as Langster Builds on Instagram. With me, as always, is my now in the morning co-host, Cam, also known as Cameron Studios.
How's it going?
Cam is
Really?
very sad about the Bruins.
Did you really? I'm trying to honor him because his the team he was traded to us. We're playing them tonight.
I said you're in mourning because you're sad because he's gone.
I'm hoping it's just for the rest of the season, then he signs back next season after we fire Sweeney. But
We'll see what happens with that one.
yeah,
We
thanks
do
for
have
that.
today two very special guests. Back for his third appearance now on the Brick Hour podcast is our good friend Scott. Welcome back, sir.
And Matt, I say it is a wonderful day when Brad Marchand has left the NHL East.
He's still in the East.
In the arms of the Marchie, gone to Florida to retire.
Can we mute him, please?
Man, that's
Father, no saber, no more.
brutal.
Mute him.
And our second guest for the first time, our very good friend Chuck SilveLair. Welcome, sir.
Oh,
If anyone is not familiar with you, Chuck, would you be able to pitch yourself real quick and just say where everybody can find you or where they may have found you before?
sure. I'm on Facebook and my personal stuff, which I'll just feed from Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's SilveLair.cf. So the SilveLair there is spelled in my name tag on the video here. And I basically focus on medieval stuff, but I also do the monthly challenges for our lug, which expands my horizons.
And you also totally dominated all those monthly challenges last year. You won like
I
what, half of them or something like
uh,
that?
5 out of 12, I placed in the top three.
Yeah, that was pretty
Okay.
great. So before we get into this week's topic, which judging by the thumbnail and the title, you guys are all probably jazzed to hear us talk about that. Cam, what are we building this week?
What are we building? Not a whole lot to the point where I had nothing bought or built. Oh, I'm building my rabbit still. He's not done. I don't want to show it off until it's done, but
Mm.
I did buy something small today just so I can actually have some for this segment. I bought Spider-Man Mech versus Anti-Venom.
Ah, yes.
I'm really excited to take a look at this Anti-Venom. I'm liking that we're getting, I guess, exclusive minifigures in these mechs now. It's making the mechs a lot more desirable now. I mean, I have a little display of all the mechs up here. You can probably see a little bit of them in front of my amazing Hulkbuster, as everyone knows. But outside of that, that is all I'm building until I am done with Stan the Rabbit. So, Scott, what are we building?
I've been continuing on my quest to turn Warhammer into a Lego theme, but on the interim, I'm also just making them because they're fun. I have been working on this. It is an Invictus warsuit, which is basically you put a Space Marine in there as the pilot, and it's basically like a power loader armor from Aliens, but
Okay.
it's very
Makes
heavily
sense.
armed and very cool.
I assume it'll
But
get legs.
yeah, the legs are actually right here. My design requires a. It broke again. I hate this design. I hate it
You
so much.
designed it.
He says my design and then immediately says I hate this design.
I wanted to do something cool with like struts on the legs to kind of give it a little bit more like texture. And I
Yeah.
decided, hey, I'm going to use bike handlebars. But the problem is the thing I'm using to secure the bars doesn't secure the bars. So every time I move them, breathe on them, sneeze, or otherwise think negative thoughts,
Look at
the
them.
bike handlebars just go that way
I,
and
I
that
think it's
way,
time for a redesign there, Scott.
probably. But the idea I had for it and the part I'm going to use to unite the torso and the legs with the bad handlebars is a single part that is only available in 1 year of Minecraft sets. And I had to special order them from someone on Bricklink. So I'm just waiting on that part. I slide it on, pop them together, they're done. My next project will be a set of dreadnoughts.
It will come through. Nope, it won't.
Nope,
No, it
that glare
won't.
is
It was
wicked
white on
bad.
white.
That glares, yeah, glares terrible, and it's white on white. But it's if it's a 1x2 with a little stud that peeks out on top, and they are very hard to find. They are not cheap at all. So I decided to, if I was really going to try something, I would go for the ghost, and
Eh?
and I regret that decision.
Well, I mean, you can just redesign it now. I mean, you already got to redesign the legs for the bike handles. Might as well redesign the torso.
Honestly, I like the torso a lot because before I've tried like using Technic pins and the pin will break or something will happen where you're pulling it apart and then the whole thing comes apart. This is just a very simple slide onto a another Technic spot and you're in. It's golden. It's
Mhm.
a nice set.
Nice.
But I've also got the parts. The next thing will be Brutalis, not Brutalis, Dreadnoughts,
Oh,
the Ballistus Dreadnoughts. So I'll get
those
the
will be
double las
sick.
gun and the missile launcher. So
Those will be
Nice.
cool.
All right, Chuck,
Chuck,
what are
my
we
friend,
building?
what are you building
Oh,
this week?
So I'm waiting for parts so I can finish the dock to go with my warehouse. But in the meantime, I started a globe for my.
Oh,
So this is one of 6 panels that'll make a full
oh,
sphere. So that's modeled after my map that I have of Machlandia. So this will be the world of Athel,
oh.
and so that's in progress now.
that's
There
gonna
Hopefully
you
be
be
go.
fun.
done by BU.
I hope
Ooh.
so, because that's the whole pro for those that don't know, this whole project you have is basically a map that then corresponds to actual physical like locations that you've built so you can like, oh, this spot on the map is this structure. Like, and
Yeah,
that's something I haven't seen before.
this
It's
is
really cool.
scale 4 of what I call Lynbrook Bray, which is my little medieval village. So there's minfig scale, which currently has 2 buildings. It's on a scale of it's 4 base plates by 3 base plates, so that's the minfig scale. Then I have a 2 base plate micro scale version, and then a 1 plate map, which corresponds to the center of this section of the globe that I've
Nice.
done. So it'll be
That's
four
it's a very
scales of the same thing.
That
it's a
looks
very
cool.
interesting concept. And my what are we building for those on Instagram that may have been like, JJ, why did you put a random picture of a excavator up a few weeks ago? I now have said excavator.
And for what
Nice.
reason?
It is going to be turned into a bat excavator, a
It'll be
Batman
batified.
excavator. The Batskavator is what I'm going to be calling it, and it will have a place in my bat cave. In fact, the rotating dock for it is actually on the floor right now. And by the way, can I say this thing is really fun? Like I bought
Well, could,
this I bought this just to turn into a Batman vehicle, and I had an absolute blast screwing around with it for like a half an hour after I was done building it. So,
Not gonna lie,
yeah,
I
this
kind
thing
of
is
want to
pretty
buy it
sweet.
now. I
the
kind of
It,
want to
What
buy
would
construction
it now.
sets
Batman
are
be
really
able to
fun.
expand his cave without a excavator?
see, thank you. Like he's gonna have to find a way to dig a bigger hole to
I
put even
am
more stuff
totally
in.
gonna play with that excavator the entire BU.
If you break it, you will have to buy another one.
It's
No,
Lego.
no,
It can be built back together.
no, no,
Good point.
no.
Huh?
You play with that. Distract him. You leave the other part to me.
It's Scott
Okay,
will take
actually, no, you're not
Scott will
getting
take
Bane.
Bane.
JJ, I got you. Scott, you are not getting Bane this year.
Yeah, because you want to steal the Bat Tank, Cam. Everybody wants to steal my vehicles, and when you guys see what I've
See,
been
I'm not.
working
No, no,
on
no.
for
I'm
other
not gonna
vehicles, you'll be
steal
hyped.
anything. You're just
You
gonna pay
think
me for my
distraction is
services.
your ally?
He
You're
temporarily misplaces it.
Yeah,
no.
right.
He's gonna
Like the
pay me
monster
for my
truck.
services with the Bat Tank for shielding Bane.
You
Sure.
distract me. You, Camden. I was born in
Anyways,
distracting.
as he does the
Molded
Bane
by
voice.
it.
Oh God. All right, moving on. JJ, tell us what we're
So,
doing today.
the main topic of the week. Collectible minifigures. Everyone loves them. They've been a staple for a good part of over a decade now. They are one of the best themes Lego has.
Mhm.
However, in 2023, Lego made the decision to change the packaging of the CMFs from the plastic bags to cardboard boxes. The initial reactions were pretty bad. People were not happy with the fact that they did this. Their reasoning was environmental stuff,
Mhm.
whatever, that
We'll get
was their
into that.
reasoning. No plastic, all cardboard. And there has been some plus sides to the boxes. There has also been a couple of negatives, and more so a massive negative that really reared its head with the most recent series that came out in January 1st. And I think everybody knows what we're talking about when it comes to the Wolfpack Beastmaster. So, we are here to discuss the problem of scalping when it comes to the CMF boxes. And I'm going to pitch it to Scott to start so we can get this discussion rolling just with some general thoughts he has on this.
So just bearing in mind that of the box sets, two of them have been a licensed theme. We had a Marvel
True.
one, and then we had the special space one, which
Mhm.
they didn't garner a lot of attention for their own specific reasons. Now you factor in our Beastmaster set, the D&D set with the Dragonborn Paladins,
Yep.
and then the other set specifically after that, before that, which had, I believe, the Basil the Bat Lord, the
Yep.
Sheep Herder, and another medieval figure. And it has really exposed how easy it is now to scalp Lego, specifically these CMF figures. I mean, just for example, humor me, 3 boxes. I take my phone, and in under 3 seconds, I know exactly what's in these boxes.
Yep.
And I can walk in, slip my hand into the box, pull them out, scan them, verify it, and I'm out the door $30 to $40 richer because that's what they're going for now on the secondary market. And they only grow as time goes on and the line retires, as we've seen with Basil the Bat Lord, the Dragonborn Paladin, and I'm sure the Beastmaster is about to spike in price too.
Yep.
It's also become much easier for people basically to rip them off. I mean, you just make a little slice, fold it down, take the stuff out, and put it back, and nobody's ever going to know the wiser because you didn't touch the front of the box. I mean, I've been in Wegmans a number of times, and I've seen where I'll pull a box out, and behind it is stacked boxes that have been cut open and basically looted and pillaged.
For those
And
not in the northeastern area, Wegmans is a local grocery store for us.
yeah, Wegmans is a local, well, it's a very big grocery store.
Very
It's a
big.
bigger chain now, but
Pretty
But
big.
we're in the hometown of Wegmans. There's a
Yes.
Wegmans every 5 seconds you spit. So you can just, go to Wegman after Wegman after Wegman after Wegman if you want. I know a couple of people that do. I'm not
Really?
happy for you. But yes, it's turned into a little bit of a scalper's paradise with these. And I, for one, miss the old bags, which required you to put some work in and also required you to actually know what you're feeling for. I mean, for all the negativity about the fact that it's not, what is it, recyclable?
Yeah.
It made it a lot harder and took a lot longer for you to figure out the contents of one bag than it did to scan a box and walk away. I mean, you can basically pilfer a box in under a minute of all the valuables using
Yep.
this method. You just need to know the relative location in the box, pull them out, scan them with your phone, which depending on which app you use, you can get 3 to 5 at a time, and you're gone.
Yep.
You're out the door. You're in checkout. You're out the door.
No,
And that would be my complaint.
Yeah.
I actually stack up 6, and I can scan 6 at a
Oh,
time.
wow.
Yeah, I do. I have the OMG brick scanner, and
Yeah, that's what I use.
I get 5 pretty consistently. I don't do 6 that much. But yeah, you
And
can
there's-
just walk in and just done.
And that was the thing is there's so many more apps now that allow you to do that.
yeah.
Like there's like Brick Search was kind of the first one that really was like pioneering it from what I saw. And it was really just you could walk up, you'd scan it. You had better luck using Android than you did iOS. If you were like an Apple user, the app wasn't as reliable with scanning things, at least from my experience. So like the Brick Search app was the first one where you'd walk up, scan it, and go. And now they've realized how useful their app is to the point where they now monetized it.
Yeah.
So you can only scan 12 boxes before it then makes you pay to get more scans.
I thought
which
it
is
was
insanity.
12, but it's one of each fig.
No,
Like once you
it's
find
12 period.
Oh,
it's 12
boxes.
period. It's 12
Oh,
period.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crap.
It's like OMG, thank God, does not do that, which I'm very thankful for because that would get really annoying really fast. But yeah, I've noticed that it has become its own monetization principle now is, hey, you want to do this regularly? Well, you better give us a little bit of money, which I understand. You want support for your app.
Correct.
You want a little bit of income for your app, but I think there are better ways of doing it than holding your scanner hostage.
Yeah. And I think like I look at this and I go, the figures are all $4.99 a piece when you buy them. That was a change that was made, I believe, with Marvel Series 2.
Yep.
Was when the $4.99 price got put in place. And I was like, okay, $5 a figure. They are extraordinarily detailed. A lot of them have new parts. I can understand that. But the fact that the Wolfpack Beastmaster is on Bricklink now for, well, at one point it was like $25, and that price has just gone up because now they're not making it anymore and are getting ready to get ready for the F1 series that's going to be coming out. And it's like, The people that don't have Beastmasters are kind of out of luck because at this point it's like a new CMF box gets put
Mhm.
out, and 5 seconds later the Beastmasters are gone because somebody walks in there, gets three of them, and just walks right out because there's no skill anymore. Like I think the thing that this is really brought to light is the bags prevented scalping
Mm,
because you had to walk up and feel the packages to figure out what you were going to get as you were like you can't just walk up now 2 seconds, scan it and go. Like you had to sit there and feel all the packs and basically try and get what you had.
I wouldn't say it scalping, it prolonged it because like, I
It made
remember
it harder.
going exactly.
Yeah, it
I
made it
remember
harder.
going into like Walmart or Targets and like I would see open bags with pieces just scattered everywhere. Like people would just open them and not find what they're looking for and just kind of toss it aside.
Saw
So
that a lot
like,
with the Muppets.
oh
Hmm.
man,
The
I
Muppets
remember
were the,
with
yeah, that was the hardest
the
one to do.
first Marvel series, I saw that a lot because those are really desirable characters. But I remember when the cardboard boxes first came out, before there was any scanners, like everyone just panicked because there was no way to feel them, and everyone it just started becoming to feel like gambling in a sense, like not more or less gambling because like you're just kind of picking a random one and just hoping for the best, or you hope someone bought an entire box, opened every single one to give you a general layout of where the figs are going to be. Because a
So
big difference between now and a long time ago, now you get three of each fig in the same spot. But I remember back during like the costume CMF, there
Hmm.
was one police officer. And I remember specifically if you went to the left side of the box, he was fifth from the back. There's only one out of like 60. So like that's a big difference now, which makes it somewhat easy. There's different ways of how scalping has happened because it used to be like Mr. Gold or the police officer, which was very rare to get. And then now you get three of each minifigure, but of those three, some can be very valuable, like the Wolf Masters. Some could be very not valuable. I mean, the Wolf Masters, not only do you get the cool torso, but also the wolves, a new wolf piece, which is going for as much as the minifigure now. But
But
like,
I don't understand why they even still do this mystery box. I mean, they're not even the only group that does this. There's Matchbox cars that do this. There's other things that have these little mystery boxes where you have to guess. Just is there really a market for that still, where
yes,
people
there
Yes,
want
is.
a
definitely.
mystery? They
hmm
don't want to know what they're getting? I
Little
just I
kids
don't
will
get
grab
it.
them and like ask their parents for it, and like they hope to collect them all. They don't, when they're younger, they don't, when we're younger, we don't think to feel the bags. Because like I remember like for the first Disney CMF, I'm feeling every single bag until I found the entire set. Even with the Muppets, I remember going to the Lego store. The employees had pre-sorted them. They felt all the sets, all the
Hmm.
bags,
I remember
Yeah,
and
that.
like, oh, you want a full Muppet CMF? Here's a bag full of them. And
yeah.
then you walked out and you were done.
Yeah, I mean,
So
when I was a kid, there was, you had baseball card. I didn't get the baseball cards. There were Star Wars cards for me, but it was the same thing. You buy a bunch of packs, and then gangs of us would get together and trade. Like that was
Mm-hmm.
normal then, you know. But now it just seems like everybody just wait for it to be online for sale and buy what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think that's a perfect point because that's where you get to the problem with this with the new CMF packaging is it has made it so much easier for people to go out and just pillage those extraordinarily desirable figures. Like there's a lot of people saying, well, the reason the Wolf Pack hasn't been showing up is because it's all the castle builders who are trying to army build them. To, it's not them. They're
There's
getting
some.
beat to it by this.
There is
It's
some.
Correct, but
Yeah,
they
and
so
also
I have four. I
yeah.
want three more, but that part of that is because my wife wants three of the wolves. Shira wants the wolves. I'll take
Yeah,
the figs, and
exactly.
so
And
like my whole thing is I am a castle army builder, but I'm not going to build an army of wolf. I'm not going to build an army of beastmasters
no.
because I consider that to be like a solo unit. Like when we were back 2 series and we had Basil the Bat Lord,
Hmm.
you had the option of making, a guard. You had that option where you could cover his face with the mask and you could make a guard. And then you could basically take the body apart. You could use the torso, you could use the legs, you could use everything else and make troops with him.
Mhm.
He became, as time went on, actually the most favorite of all that line for castle builders
Yep.
because of his armor building potential. This
Yes.
Beastmaster does not have the same armor building potential because he sticks out against all the other Wolfpack.
yeah,
So
Correct.
well, it's
he's
out of the four that I have. put them all together differently. They got their weapon in a different hand, their head is turned around.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, I did things to make each one
Differentiated.
unique.
Correct.
And it's funny the what you mentioned earlier too, Cam, was about the whole prospect of gambling. There's a certain collectibles and gaming store in town that we know about.
Mhm.
We will not name them, but when they started carrying Lego was back when they had bags. They prevented me from feeling the bags.
Yep,
You can
same
say
here.
it's Millennium. It's fine. They don't really care if you say
I
it's
know.
them or not. I don't mind
I'm
They
saying
just
did the
being
that.
same thing
nice.
to me. I asked if I
But
could
they
feel the bags,
they
and they said no.
yeah, they chided me for a good couple of weeks about, you're not allowed to feel the bags. It's a game, it's a contest, it's all luck of the draw. And finally got to the point where someone from the back was like, he comes in every week. He knows what he's doing. It's not like
Good customer.
he's not gonna like destroy the bags. Like I'm not gonna take
No.
the bag. I can take a bag, I can feel it out, figure the parts out, and I'm not gonna ruffle the
What is
foil or
that one?
ruin the bag. This one right here?
Yep. Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Orgland
Wait, I
Re-
can't.
This is
You
an
got
orc. This is one
It's
of
an
my
orc.
orcs. It's an orc.
And,
Oh, the orcs. Yeah, you took all of them the first release day.
What are you talking about?
let's also talk about the one of the things with the bags that helps prevent scalping a little bit, or at least help made it
Prolong
harder
it.
was not only did you have to sit there and feel every single bag to figure out what was going on, it took you a while
Mm-hmm.
to get the ones you were looking for.
Especially if
Yes.
some
So
had similar pieces.
so you might get the situation where people are going to walk by you 4 or 5 times in a Target or a Walmart, and you might not want to sit there and have all this attention drawn to you as you're sitting there with a bag trying to figure out what's in it for a half an hour going through an entire box. Like that's
It's
going
It's
to
your
be a
did it.
private
little
shame.
ridiculous.
I did it.
It's your private shame.
Like
It really
literally,
is.
it was straight up. You were like doing the walk of shame
Yeah.
in the Lego aisle, trying to figure out what figure was in the bag you had. And I'm just kind of like, that probably kept a lot of people from going, I'm gonna go out and try to find all these figures. Like you had your chase figures like Mr. Gold, the police
Mm-hmm.
officer, the highwayman, the one that was like, we're not gonna say which one this is, and everyone's gotta go try and find it, like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But though, like Mr. Gold was a draw, and
Oh
but
yeah.
that figure there
That
was only a
backfired.
few thousand of them made, and they never did that again. The policeman was one in each box, so there was a more easy to find
See, with
chase
that
figure.
one, I remember specifically going to the Lego store and asking, "Can you bring out a new box?" And they were asking me why. If you open it and go from the back left and go up
Oh
five,
yeah.
he's right there. And he's like, "No way." Okay, if it is, I get to buy it. So he goes, pulls out a new box, counts it out, pulls up, opens it. It's yours. And
Like
but like what I miss about the bags was like if I didn't want to stand in like Walmart or Target feeling all the bags, which I had no shame doing it, I had trouble finding Alice from the first Disney CMF. I went into the Lego store, like, hey, can you guys help me find Alice? Two out of like 4 or 5 of them in the store came over and we were all feeling the bags to find me Alice. And we did. But like I feel like feeling it kind of not bonded people, but like you kind of work together to find a full set. Like if you had like 3 or 4 people, you would get together, feel everything around you until everyone got a full set. Now it's gone. Like you scan it and you're done.
There
Where
is still a little bit of that though,
there
Cam. When
is.
I went to a Walmart and one of the wolf packs that I did get, I didn't get there first. Somebody else was there and they were doing scanning through, and I just casually made the comment, if one of those is a wolf pack, I want it.
yeah,
And they wanted one themselves, and they ended up finding three.
Oh,
They kept two and they gave me one. So
good for them.
there are
nice.
good, nice people
There
still.
are. There definitely are, but
Correct.
there
There
are
is.
scalpers.
There is still good people out there, which is we're not trying to say everybody that's buying these figures in bulk is bad. It's more just there is a lot of people that are buying this to profit off of them because they know
Hmm.
how desirable the figure is because the Castle fans want to get it. Like
Yes.
it's a very popular faction. It's an extraordinarily detailed minifigure with a really cool looking wolf piece. Like it is easily the most desirable figure of that wave. And I
Yes.
think
And
Scott,
other than the medieval village, there hasn't been one in years.
no, he
No.
hasn't shown
Yeah.
up. And people sit there and they go, well, why doesn't Lego just go through and just make make a castle sub theme? Well, first of
Because they
all,
haven't.
that's a topic for another day. But also, like, when you sit there and you look at it, like, why wouldn't they just keep continuing to trickle castle figures into the CMFs? People are going out and buying them in droves. Like,
Hmm.
they don't care who's at. they realistically don't care who's ending up with them. They just care they're getting purchased. Like that's all that matters to them. It's
Lego has figured out that Castle fans are desperate for Castle and will pay the high price.
Yes.
correct.
I mean, you
Correct.
really look at the ideas and the icon sets that have come out
Bricklink
featuring
designer
Castle
programs.
BDP,
Bricklink-
the BDP sets.
the BDP sets, but you have to remember too, the BDP sets are voted on by fans.
True.
But
Correct.
they're taking those metrics and figuring that out. I mean, we had Rivendell sold, Barad-dûr sold. We're not going to talk about the Shire, but we can look at, the King's Castle. We can look at
There's right behind Chuck.
yeah, the King's Castle. We can look at the Medieval Village.
Rivendell's behind me too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they sell the Viking Village.
Viking
On the other
sword.
side.
Yes.
It's right-
I'm literally looking at Chuck and I'm
Surrounded.
like, what are the sets they
All right,
came
and
out
then
with?
Chuck just turn the camera so we can see the
I had
rest
the
of the
mountain
castles.
fortress in front of me here, middle of the village is up there.
like yeah, like those sets sold well.
Mhm.
And what I don't, and I understand it now, they see the fact that there's no point in selling tiny little sets anymore that are just going to sit on shelves. They want those big sets because let's face it,
They'll be
castle
bought.
buyers are whales. We
Mhm.
will spend the money to get what we
Yep.
want. I mean,
Exactly.
we're not interested in like little, we of course are. We would love battle packs. We would love trooper packs. We'd love little
Mhm.
$20 sets of cool things. But if you're going to give us something, give us these big castles because so
Yep.
far they haven't missed on any of their castle designs.
And why do you think they keep putting castle figures in like knights, like lion knights, in the build a minifig bins at the Lego stores?
Yep.
Because all the castle guys are going to go in there and buy a million of them and buy a ton, and they're going to they're going to army build from the Lego store. Like they're
you
using that
imagine-
nostalgia to get in there.
Can you imagine if a Wolfpack torso showed up in a build a
Oh my
build a
God.
minifigure
It
assortment
would
for a
burn
quarter?
every mall in America.
The
would come
number
to a
of theft
close.
that would happen, just people grabbing one, just sliding in the pocket, grab another, slide in the pocket. It would be insane.
Oh no, it'd be like what was it last 1 or 2 years ago when they started coming out? I can't remember which one. I was there opening day with empty packs,
Yeah.
ready to fill them with the figures. They had to put a limit on them because they thought I was going to buy them all. Yes, I am one of those guys who likes
You
my
probably
armies.
would have too.
You probably would have. But now,
Yeah.
to kind of to shift a little bit, I want to give you two different perspectives. So first, when the boxes first came out, there was no way to scan them. There was no way to know what was in there outside of what people thought would be helpful was the scale. Scott, I know you had one.
I still do. My wife, when it came in the mail, my wife opened the box. She's like, "You're not getting into drugs, are you?"
So I remember buying it. This was only like $12, so no big deal.
Breaking
But
Lego.
I remember seeing a
Yo,
chart
that's
circle
funny.
around.
Yes, Chuck.
I didn't even hear what he said. I just laughed at JJ.
Breaking
said
Lego.
You said Mike Breaking,
Breaking
Bad,
Bad,
Breaking
Breaking
Lego.
Say my name.
All right. Where was I? Oh, yes.
Sorry, Cam.
So I remember there was charts going around of how much each fig weighed for the Marvel CMF. And I remember going through each one trying to do it. And it was close, but it wasn't exact because what people didn't consider was the glue that held the boxes together.
I love that Lego actually came out and said, "By the way, you're not going to get those measurements because of the glue."
Yep.
Yeah.
Lego
They
actually
had
came
to.
out and,
So
and
nice
they
of
said that it could vary per box, it could vary per plant, it could
Mhm.
vary per individual cartridge how much glue it got. You have
Yep.
no guarantee of what it'll
None.
cost.
Yeah.
Because
And
yeah,
been
you're right.
hard.
That first time we tried using the scales, I think we were in the mall for over an
Yes.
hour after we bought the
We
box.
tried
just
to weigh it,
weighing
and
things
then
nothing
we
worked.
figured out there was that picture of the weights, but there's also a picture of the general layout of
Yeah.
where they all were.
Mhm.
And our box for the Marvel CMF was like 98% correct, except it had an extra Goliath and one less beast. But so where do you think we would be now had there not been the apps that scan the barcodes? Like if we only had the scales, or one of our good friends used the little camera to sneak inside of the box. Do we want to name his
There
name?
was
No,
a lot
no.
of
No?
He
No.
there was a lot
literally
of
was in the
boxes
middle of
early
yeah.
on that
Yeah.
people had used their pinky to kind of pry in and then peek inside, or got a finger and feeling around, whatever. So that before the scanners worked, there was a lot of those at Wegmans that I saw where
Yeah.
somebody
There were a
had
lot of
just
punched holes. There
opened
were
Do
a
up
you
lot
the
of
think
holes in
we
the
would
end.
have more
Ripped up
scalping or less scalping if the scanners never came about?
Much
None.
less.
Way less.
Do you think there'd be more damaged boxes?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
way more
theft
damaged box. And that's the thing. I think that's the payoff because
Hmm.
you're either going to have damaged boxes, in which case the stores are going to be writing all this stuff off,
Hmm.
or they have the scanners and you get the scalpers.
Or they're
and
behind the desk where you can't grab them. You just ask the front desk, "Can I buy 3 CMFs?" and they hand them to
so
you.
Just like
here's
all the
a
Walmarts that have them behind lock and key, all the Lego sets.
well,
Hmm.
and Walmart's starting to get rid of their lock and key now because they don't have people to actually monitor the aisles because people were buying stuff so much.
Yep.
Um,
And yeah, they will stand there with you until you
yeah.
are done.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's one of my other things with the scanning is when I go to Wegmans, my particular Wegmans, I always know where security is when I'm scanning. He's right behind me
Yeah, because they
because he
think you're
seems to
stealing
think
stuff.
I'm stealing stuff or I have some kind of magical spell that'll, with my phone because I'm holding my phone up to each of these box or groups of these holding it up. I'll never forget that. I didn't think anything of it. I go like scanning them through. My wife's like, "Who's that?" And I turn around and there's the security guard standing at the edge of the aisle like this, leaning against the aisle, watching everything I do. And I'm like, "Can I help you?" And he goes, "Yeah, you can clean up." I'm like, and
Well,
I always clean up. That's the other thing
Yeah.
too that really ticks me off about this is people destroy those
Oh
boxes
yeah.
and
or
they
they just leave them
leave their
everywhere in the
mess.
aisle.
They leave them all over the place. Everything's the box is destroyed or there's stuff all over the place. That's really annoying too.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Because even if I'm
I
not
was
looking for that chase, I might be looking for something else. And if you've made a mess, it makes it harder.
Yep.
I was even at the one time I go there, I stack up six on a shelf, I scan it, take out what I want, and put stuff aside, and I do that. And then when I'm all done, I actually put them back in the box upside down, so the
That's what I do. Yeah.
scan is up
Oh,
as
Hmm.
opposed to the other way, so it'll speed it along for whoever's after me.
there you go.
I think if they really wanted to, just reverse it a little bit, have like figure out a way to put them in like this where the scanner barcode's always on top.
Yep.
Because at this point, you've already given up the ghost. We know what the scanner, we know that the
Hmm.
barcodes can be scanned. Make
Hmm.
it easier on everybody and go with that
Now,
method.
speaking of the barcode, I remember when they
Hmm.
first switched to boxes, I was like, "This is never going to work." Obviously, we saw with video that those
Mm.
chase boxes did not sell. In fact, people were ripping them open to get the figures because nobody wanted to. No, there was no way to identify what was inside without opening the box, and that was the problem. So when they switched over to that, I went, "Why are they even bothering?"
Hmm.
Because they've obviously seen from the failure of video that this format is not going to work, and it invites problems. We don't want that here. However, when that first QR code where someone's like, "Well, you can read the four numbers in this QR code, and it'll tell it won't tell you what figure it is, but it'll tell you that it's a different one because each three of the same character had the same four numbers in the barcode." Oh, well, this is interesting. And I used that for the Marvel CMF to get a full
Hmm.
set of the second one, so that I basically was like, "Yep, I'm not. These aren't extras. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. We're good." And it was fine. Lego also did on the website there were you could buy a package of six,
Yep.
and they guaranteed that all six in that were not the same. They were all
Oh.
different. So you were
Yeah.
set with that, which was nice. But you couldn't buy two and get a full set. You could and you there was a risk that you were
Hmm.
going to end up with a double set of six, which would have
It's
been bad.
funny you mentioned that because that was the other point I wanted to make earlier. So like there was obviously what if we didn't get the scanners. I think in Europe they were testing it where there was a tower of sorts of CMFs where it was just a tower of 12. You were guaranteed a full set. I don't know
Yes.
why it hasn't made its way to the States yet, but like, do
It
you think
it
that
hasn't shown
would,
up. It hasn't shown up in Europe since.
do you think
No,
it
it was
would
only
have
there once.
improved the CMF, or do you think it would just make it worse for someone who just, like, it's not like you can just open it up and then take out the
I think it
one.
would have
You have
totally
to buy the
destroyed their profit.
12.
I think it would have destroyed their margins because with the CMFs, you rely on the people. There's obviously the fans like us that know you can walk up with the app, scan the QR code, know what figures
Hmm.
inside, and walk away. Lego's not stupid. They
Hmm.
know that this works, and they put those QR codes on the bottom so that there is a way to identify what is inside. They know what they're doing. They learned from the video mistake because the video boxes, there was no way of being able to figure it out at all. With the new CMFs, there is a way to figure it out. And you can't tell me they didn't put that there knowing very well that that was going to work.
Hmm.
But I think when you look at it, like they're not stupid enough to put those on the bottom. When you look at the CMFs on the big picture, there is of course the fans like us that know we can walk up, scan it, and walk away. But then there's the people that don't.
Right.
And they're gonna just they can't feel the bags. So they're gonna buy a bunch of boxes and hope they get the right figure. And if they don't, they're gonna keep going back like it's Cam, like you said, gambling. You're
Right.
gonna go back, you're gonna keep buying those
And
boxes
hope you can trade with a friend.
and hope you get the figure you want in the end. And if you end
Mhm.
up with extras, you end up with extras, and then yeah, maybe you can trade with somebody that already has that doesn't have the one you have, and you can get something you want in
Mhm.
return for, kind of like baseball cards, like Chuck had brought up.
I mean, it's still very popular in a lot of collectibles.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
ironically is growing in Transformers because
Yeah, that's
now
weird too.
they're
Transformers
doing
is doing it?
they've licensed with a couple of collectibles. They don't transform, they're like action figures,
Right.
but they're in blind bags
Huh.
and they're in blind boxes. You can get them. And one of my buddies, he's really big into it. And he gets them at Target in the collectibles aisle, and they're blind bag Transformers. It's a series of 5 with an ultra rare.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And the ultra rare is like one per case. And he went out and bought like 30 of them just to try and find the ultra rare. He doesn't care. He
Wow.
he got his ultra rare, but that's what some collectors
What does he
do.
do with all the extras?
Tries to sell them to me.
Does he work? Does he succeed
No,
at all?
no,
A little bit?
because there's no sound wave.
Minute their
If
sound wave.
there's a minute there's a sound wave, then you know what? I'm in this game. But
All
right now
right.
there's not.
One little tangent. The big thing of Lego saying that they were changing to the boxes was to be more eco-friendly. Do we believe that? Or do we think that they really just want to try and make it more of a mystery? Because if they were, I personally don't think so. Because if they really did want
I
to get
do.
rid of plastic, they could have started with the poly bags, turned into poly boxes. They could have really steamrolled putting paper bags in all the Lego sets instead of some having paper, some having plastic. I think they just wanted to get rid of the plastic bags for one, lower theft, but also just to make it harder to figure them out at first. And then they realize they want people to know what they are.
It's 10 times easier to figure them out now than it is before. I think it really is about going green.
I don't believe the
I
green.
I
Yeah,
I
I
do.
think
I
I believe the green too. I think
I
because
do.
the boxes it was an easy change and it was big for PR.
And also, when you take, first of all, the people that will go, well, the poly bags still exist. Well,
Bring
poly
it.
bags are, but poly bags are used for those little sets that don't warrant a box, but they could still sell.
Well,
Like
like in the
the
2000s,
poly
they
bag
had the
works for that.
small boxes.
Yeah, but you don't need a million of those because the poly bags you can like they're a little set you can put on like an end cap at like a Target, and they'll
Mm.
people will pick them up as they walk by, and you're good.
And I
I
think there's
think
too much variety with the poly
I do
bags
yes,
too.
for it to be a consistent size box. The CMFs,
correct.
Fair.
they could make a consistent size box and run with it.
I also
The
think
poly
what
bags is it's more negotiation involved with getting
That's
that
fair.
converted over.
That's a good point.
agreed. Thank you for that. I also think I think one of the one big plus side of the boxes for the CMFs was we can get some larger pieces or
Yeah.
larger sub-assemblies. Like there was a whole mountain bike included in one of the most recent series.
The longboard is rather large.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
longboard is
yeah,
big. Like,
long with it.
and one of the problems with the bags was they were all the same size. But if you had a lot, like I remember with the first Marvel series, finding Captain America Sam Wilson was so ridiculously easy because his wing pack was so enormous. The bag was it was protruding out of the bag in some cases. So it's
Another
like
easy one was Sylvie with Alligator Loki. You just
Yeah.
find the long piece and then you got it.
and this also it allows for some more complicated sub-assemblies, which I think for like side builds, which I think for the CMFs works, and it helps warrant the extra like the small price increase is cool. You get a figure and you can get some larger accessories or some more decent sized side builds to go with it as a result. So I think it was definitely going green, and it was also to improve upon what can be included in the line.
That's
Do I
fair.
think Lego thought we don't have the scalping thing is like scalping isn't going to become extreme with this? No, because no real company really thinks that. Like you can't tell me Pokemon didn't think that the price and the collectability of their cards was going to skyrocket to what it is now. and people were going to be literally beating each other up in Costco to make off with 7 or 8 different cases of the same Pokemon card set. Like when you're a company releasing collectibles, you don't think that way. You just think, how can I improve this? How can I make things
Mhm.
better? You're not trying to think of how can I make my fans run into a Walmart and throw down like WWE to get their hands on this card. Like you don't think that. That's not the mindset they have.
I mean, I'm a nerd and I'm old. I get it. I have been at Star Wars Midnight Toy releases where I have watched people behave very badly.
Yes.
Yeah,
I have behaved badly once or
Oh,
twice. Um,
that's a
Largely because
story.
someone tried taking something out of my hand.
Oh, that's
If
yeah.
crossing a
That's
line.
that
if
that's
my
crossing the
hand is
line.
on it and you try to rip it out of my hand, you're not gonna have a hand. But um, no, I've seen where that FOMO kicks in, and I really think
Mhm.
that a lot of this, a lot of what's driving the secondary market with Lego right now is just nostalgia and FOMO.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
the higher nostalgia appeal, the bigger the FOMO.
Hmm.
Like this, we can talk like this upcoming Bricklink designer. It's been announced. It's going to be a Wolfpack set. It's going to be the Wolfpack Tower.
Oh.
Nobody's expecting that thing to last an hour on the
No.
exchange once the order opens, because that's the number one thing. As soon as it was available as a vote, every Discord said the same thing. We got to get the Wolfpack Tower. So you think about it, if you're going to limit people to two and you're going to open that thing up, it's only going to be a couple, like what, 20,000 total. It's going to go
If that.
fast.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's going to go blindingly fast. So when you do these sets now and you go for that FOMO, like for me, honestly, as much as I was a big fan of the Wolfpack guy, I was a big fan of these guys. I was a big fan of these drone
Yes.
Yeah, the
racers.
racers are cool.
The other part of it is simply because it's got a ton of octane on it. It's got a ton of octane stuff on it, and I always love the octane brand.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, they know what they're doing. I don't think that they do it would grow this out of control. And yeah, I'm very happy that we don't have fist fights over cases of CMF. And I really hope we never get to that point.
I hope so too.
I
And I
think the fans that get there first are the ones that really want them, who get there like on release day. They're not the ones that are going to throw down. It's the scalpers that could end up doing that. Like, I'll go release day, like this most recent one. Me, Gina, and our friend Brian, we all got together. We went up to the desk, like, I'm buying 12, she's buying 12, he's buying 12. And they just scanned it 12 times. And then after it was all said and done, they just gave us a case of 36 because we were just going to split them up on our own.
Yeah, and
So, like, that's fair.
if you have a good store like we are very
We
blessed
are
to have,
very lucky. We got
Mhm.
an amazing store.
when we open the door, there is a literal table sitting there. And they will bring the cases out and they will explicitly explain to you, you don't have to get a full set, but you can't get more than 12. And yes, they
Hmm.
count.
I
And they
do.
make the rules clear, and otherwise they stay out of the way. They just want to make sure that, yeah, nobody's going out of their minds crazy.
And they only let a certain amount of people in so it doesn't get crowded and chaos erupts.
Well, that's on January 1st, yeah. I mean,
Because
normal regular release days,
there's like
it's not that
300 people
bad.
in line on those days for
How
like that
much
on
you want to
August
bet no
1st.
one's going to be lining up to try and get the F1 ones? Well, except Scott because he
That's
wants his
that's
helmets.
what I wanted to bring up with everybody and ask everyone's opinion on. Do we think that the F1 series is going to have the same effect of like this last one? Are people going to be so like sought after the F1 ones like they are
It,
for the
it'll
past couple
it'll be in
series?
it'll be a new market. I mean, I have a friend who's actually a marshal for road racing,
Hmm.
and he is obsessed with all of the Lego that comes out that's race car related.
Yeah.
So, it's like when the new Ferrari thing came, it's like, yes, take my money, kind of, that's the way he is with all of it. So
Mhm.
I'm sure with these F1 cars, he's going to be all over it. And I think there's a lot of other people like that that might not necessarily be normal Lego people,
Hmm.
but they're
Agreed.
going to dive into the F1
Yeah.
thing.
I
The,
don't think
the,
a lot of the diehards aren't going to go for it because there's no minifigure, but
correct.
he's right. I mean, I don't know anything about F1.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I started like studying F1 a little bit when they announced all the F1 cars just so I can understand what the appeal was. I didn't realize that the field is limited to 27 cars, which is
Oh,
why we're
wow.
only getting 27 cars. Like you're only X amount of cars are allowed in the league, in the actual league itself. So
Mhm.
there's a reason behind all of this. And yeah, I personally don't think the diehards will go for it. Maybe they'll buy one or two just to see what it's like and see if they like it.
Hmm.
But yeah, if it's something where a small F1 fan can get into it more frequently, then yeah, more power to them. And this is a great avenue for them to get in the Lego.
Lego's
And
But
I
doing a great job of bringing in outside fans. Like, think of the number of people we've seen in Lego stores we don't usually see, whether they're buying Botanical or F1. Like, they're doing different themes and builds to draw outside of the usual fans, which is a great business opportunity for Lego. For me, I'm not really interested in the F1 because I'm not into F1 for one, but also they're all, correct me if I'm wrong, they're like the same build, just different colors and prints, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well,
They're all
different
that's the way
colors.
F1
Yeah.
is. It's a very standard car type,
Hmm.
just the way NASCAR now. It's just all the cars look the same, even though
correct.
there's a Ford and a Chevy or whatever. So it's just that's how they regulate the sport is by making
Hmm.
sure that all the vehicles look the same.
And
And
Chuck,
NASCAR. Sorry, go ahead.
like I say, to Chuck's point, also, F1 is a massive sport. And people around the world, like, I think, kind of merging both your points, Scott and Chuck's together, the Lego diehards might not care about the next CMF series with the F1 figures because they're all just they're all just cars, and there's no real crazy like Lego draw, so to speak. The F1 fans will go nuts and they'll pick them all up. They'll go crazy for them. The diehard Lego fans aren't. And I think we almost kind of need this series, the
Hmm.
F1 series, so that people don't get mad that whatever series comes next has some crazy desirable castle figure again or some other crazy desirable figure. And then we have the Wolfpack Beastmaster 2.0, where, okay, I couldn't get this one, and now here's another series, and now I can't get this one random figure from this series. Like, I think we need this as a community
Hmm.
so that everybody can take a step back, breathe. If you want to get some F1, sure, go ahead, knock yourself out. But I think the diehard, like if you're, there are people that do collect every CMF ever made. So those guys will obviously go and buy that.
Right.
But I think this next series is going to be extraordinarily important to reduce burnout caused by scalpers.
Yeah, I mean, really, and this is just me. I breathed a sigh of relief when I heard that
Yeah.
when I heard what was coming, because I was like, cool. I don't remember the last time I took a series off.
I can take a series off.
That's actually a really good point.
Like, I think the last time I took a series off was the second Disney series, where I had made the decision right at the onset. Pick up your jaw. I had made the decision right at the onset. I wasn't going to go through with this again. There wasn't a lot that appealed to me, so I wasn't as like gun ho about them day
Hmm.
one or gun ho about going through bags and stuff like that. I just picked looking for little ones and little specific ones I may have wanted. But I'm so kind of tired of hunting so hard for something that should be pretty easy to find.
It should.
Correct.
I mean,
And yeah, I welcome a break.
I said this in the past episode when I grabbed these. I never expected to walk into a store and see three of them right there for me to take. I mean, I grabbed them for a reason I don't know yet, whether I do give it, or maybe not give, trade with a friend who doesn't have the opportunity to get it, or maybe if I do sell it, to buy something else I don't have. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like I never thought that this was gonna be possible, and I hope people don't have to always think like that because it kind of takes the fun out of it.
I mean, how weird does it feel like you're relieved that you can find something that should be readily
It
available,
should be readily
knowing
available.
how well stocked Lego keeps everything else?
Hmm.
I
And I
mean,
think
is there any ever a specific instance where while it's been active, you've gone looking for a set and you can't find it that well, except for maybe the Fortnite bus? That seemed to be a big
uh early onset 501st Battle Pack when that first came
Yeah.
out, that 30 that
that
one was
was
hard to find
yeah.
Oddly
early
enough,
on.
the water plane from the city jungle sets, I couldn't find that one for the life of me for whatever reason.
I didn't
Well,
even know they did it.
here's the other thing though. Talking about that, the battle bus was back ordered, hard to get,
Hmm.
almost immediately after released. The last time we went to the Lego store, it was there,
Hmm.
and it was readily available there. When I went to Target today to pick up the excavator, there was battle buses there. They had them. There was a couple battle buses with the 501st Battle Pack for like a good 6 months after that set came out. It was hard to find them.
But again, you're looking at it from the perspective of the army builders.
Correct.
And then the people who want to buy that set to sell it to the army
And
builders.
there was also
Exactly.
that one clone
But at
trooper
the same
pack. There was only
time,
3 of them. That was hard
yeah.
to find as well.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, a lot of those sets, as they're like post-release date, as you got farther from release date, they did become like you could walk into a Target at one point and there was a 50 million 501st battle pack just chilling there full price, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
can find them. The Beastmaster never turned into that. And
Not
part of the
yet,
reason
anyway.
is it's $5.
But also
It's
CMFs only
$5.
last a third of the year, whereas
Exactly.
the 501st you could get that for a good year, maybe 2, honestly.
It was out for 2 or 3 years.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
way
but
the
more so.
Wegmans puts their boxes out. They don't put out a new box until
The
the
entire
other
box
box
is
is
empty.
Until
just
the other
about
ones are gone.
empty. So
Unless
I'm
you
just
nobody's
waiting
unless you nobody's
until,
yeah.
so that box is maybe a third of the boxes left now in our Wegmans here. And I just, every time I go in, I go, yep, it's still the same box. I'm
It's the
still
same
waiting for
box.
the new one.
Because
Yep.
nobody's buying a pterodactyl kid.
Right.
Hey, I like that figure.
I like
was a
that
good
one
one.
too. I
I
like
like
all the
the-
dinosaur costumes we've gotten.
I think that's a really cool figure, but it's not. But again, it's not.
It's not the draw.
Cthulhu.
No, it's not the
Not
draw.
the draw.
It's the
It's
boogeyman.
not the
That's what's
draw.
the draw.
The Boogeyman.
The
The Baba
boogeyman is
Yaga.
awesome.
I'm
It
the
is
Boogeyman.
awesome.
Coming to get you. Yeah, I mean, I think in people that are expecting us to go just bring the bags back, no, that's not the answer to this question.
It's
That-
there really
that's
is
not,
no answer to it, honestly, because there's always going
there
to be
isn't.
there will always be somebody who finds a way to quote unquote cheat the system. And as soon as one person finds out, Lego community is worse than middle school girls. Everyone gossips within the Lego community. As soon as one person finds out, everybody
That's a
finds
very
out.
good
Oh,
analogy.
If it's on one server, don't worry, it'll be on every other server by the end of the day.
Exactly.
It'll be on
correct.
it'll be on every Discord server, every subreddit. You know, you'll be able to go on Facebook on like the 50,000 Facebook groups, and it'll be there in
And bam, there
quadruple
it
it.
is. 2
Yeah.
seconds later. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, and I think like people go, oh, just bring the bags back. First of all, no, they're never going to do that. Environmental reasons, no, and the new packaging is perfectly fine. Is it harder to get stuff not filling things? Yes, but at the
I
same
miss it.
time, the other argument is
You do too.
just don't just I miss feeling the bags also. I used to love
There
doing
was something
that.
fun about it.
Yeah, I feel like that element's been kind of taken away. But at the same time, when you look at like people sit there and go, well, just don't include desirable characters or desirable figures in the CMF line. Well, then just say goodbye to the CMF line because then you're never
It
going to buy
defeats the
them.
whole purpose.
Yeah.
So
I mean, really, it sounds dumb, but maybe I'll have an option where you can buy a single figure and you set a specific limit. Maybe
I mean-
we have to go that way, where you can
Meaning,
buy
like,
individual figures
online or something,
online
and not in
and
the store.
set a limit of how many you can buy at a time or how many you can buy an account.
I mean,
Like-
perfect example, like Millennium Games, like we were talking about earlier. They have two subsets of CMFs. They have CMFs on the shelf that you can go up and just pick a random one and go. And they now also, at least when Marvel Series 2 came out, they had a case in the main card area where they would order CMF cases. They would put a case on the shelf and it would just sit there. And they would take the other case. They would open them all and they would put them in like the card case and you could buy the figure you wanted. Now the problem was when I did this for when Basil the Batlord came out, Basil the Batlord was like $15 and the rest of them were all like they priced them at $7.
Yeah.
Because the way they saw it, we're going to charge you $2 because now the element of mystery is gone and you know what you're getting.
Mhm.
But Basil the Batlord, he's really, really, really desirable. So we jacked his price up because we know you're going to pay it to get him. And
Yeah.
that was smart on their part. Like a lot of places like Bricks and Minifigs and like those little third-party areas.
You can't
They
fault
bought
them
this-
because it's a business. Like, it's a smart business tactic.
Like if
you
I
know
bought
you want, I mean, yeah, it is. It's,
like
you want it.
if I
You'll
got
pay
a
up.
pallet of CMFs in, yeah, I'm gonna put the wolf packs. I'm gonna put them up for $25 because guess what? People are gonna come in. They're gonna buy them all out.
This is for sale for 24. Don't buy from JJ, buy from me.
I don't even have one. I can't even talk.
23 and a half.
22.
21. See, I'm lowering his prices. He doesn't realize it.
Yeah, right. The whole market's gonna drop in value.
But I gotta say, I miss the feeling of the bags for 2 reasons. One, it was fun to do it with a bunch of friends, but also at the same time, you had that feeling of accomplishment by if you were able to feel the entire series, you felt so proud. Whereas now, scan, done, you move on. Like it's taking out the
Yep.
feeling of enjoyment in reality. Like you're happy you got the full set, but that one what is phrase like it's not about the end, it's the journey or
It's the
whatnot.
journey.
So the
Exactly, like
next
the
case
journey's
I get,
gone.
Cam, I'll put them all in a bag. I won't label them, and I'll let you feel it out, and
I
you can figure
appreciate
out.
it, Chuck. Thank you.
So, it's the funny part, but it's still a memory that gets me to this day whenever I think about that. Whenever I think about CMF,
Hmm.
do you remember the COVID wave
Yeah.
with the Viking and
Oh my
the
Yeah.
tournament
God.
night? Now picture me in a mask with a face shield, putting on hand sanitizer and then putting on gloves every time I walked into the aisle at Wegmans. Because I would be that guy that would stand there even during COVID and feel those bags looking for the Vikings in the tournament nights.
Can't
And
remember which wave that was.
uh
I don't remember which one it was.
remember,
Because
Was
I'm
it
looking at a bunch
21?
of
It
my.
might have been 21. I think Chuck's right.
yeah, there was, but I would be that. No, series 20.
He was close.
It was close.
That's
Yeah,
I
impressive. You
said
got it that close.
22nd. I said 22nd. I
there you
said
go.
afterwards.
Well, I thought you said 21.
I
I was trying
said
to read
21,
you.
and then I said 20. I was
But yeah,
Oh,
I I
seesawing.
would,
you were right.
to me
That's
that was,
impressive, honestly. There's so many series I can't even tell which one's which at this point.
Well, because I didn't really pay attention until like 19, so I was
Oh, okay.
never really a minfig guy anyway.
That
That's
that
more
makes
of a.
sense.
but I
Um,
just remember it, and I would come home and my wife would be like, you're nuts. You're gonna get sick, and I'm like, and I would explain to her, I put the hand sanitizer on,
like
put the
I'm
gloves
good.
on. I was fully masked up, the whole thing that we had agreed upon for a safety protocol, and just went to town. And to me, it was an accomplishment. I think I was the only one actually feeling bags up during that period. And for me, profit because I picked up like 30 Vikings in 20 nights, and I've seen what they're going for now, and
Oh,
you
that
can't have
one.
any.
It
Yeah,
was Series 20. I didn't get the full set. I got a few of them actually recently. Our good friend Gina gave me some because she didn't have any use for them, and I brought them to Empire Bricks, traded a few of them, and the knights were stupid expensive, and it
yes.
got me the flying monkey from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the Knights, all of that it's ridiculous how much they go for now because at the time, nobody was grabbing bags. And at the
No.
time, Lego didn't allow you to buy six packs either. Like you had to buy a case or you had to go to a store and touch the bag, and people were so afraid of touching anything at that point. But I miss that. I don't know why, but I miss that sense of adventure with it where
Hmm.
I don't know what's going to be in the case when I roll up because not everybody's as good as I am at figuring it out.
Hmm.
Followed up on places where Rock Club members have been, and they're like, "Oh, they don't have anything," and I'll feel the bags, and I'm like, "Oh, you missed one, and it's mine," and it's just a little sense of enjoyment. Today, it's just scan and go. Bye.
Yep, that's all. It takes out the fun, actually.
Takes out a lot of the fun. Takes and there's more mystery with a blind bag than there is with a box with a barcode.
And that's the sad part. So to go around the table one last time, just give everyone's final thoughts on what we kind of are feeling with these unfortunate events revolving around the CMF packaging. I will start with Chuck, and then we'll go Scott, Cam, and then we'll end with myself before we wrap it up here.
I think we're stuck with this for a while. I don't see any better solution other than stop it being a mystery and just tell us what's in it and let us buy what we want.
Yeah.
I think we might be heading for paper bags, but I
Ooh.
don't know how we would control paper bags quality control because some of these parts can cut through paper like nothing if they're pushed in the right way.
Be
So
sharp enough.
if it's sharp enough or if it's got a different sort of an edge and the bag is bent enough, it might break. Um, I hate scalpers and yeah, I've loved collecting Lego, but this has kind of put a drag on the whole CMF experience.
Hmm.
I mean, I will say I did think it was kind of a way for Lego to figure out a way to try and sell more initially by getting rid of the plastic bags. Um, you guys opened my eyes a little bit. I don't know if there is a way to get rid of the scalper aspect of it outside making less desirable, which defeats the whole purpose.
Hmm.
I think, unfortunately, it's something that we're just, as the Lego community, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with it, to figure out a way to buy them and then just trade them at conventions with each other or something. Like, make it to what it was intended to be. Like, you get a bunch of random figs and you trade until you get the full set instead of trying to buy the full set. But that's probably just more wishful thinking. It's just something we're going to have to try and figure out
That
one CMF
triggers
at a
an
time.
idea in my head. Maybe make it so you can't buy just one. Do you have to buy, like it comes in a set of three,
Oh,
and that
That could be
three
interesting.
could
But
have
that'll
one
drop
really
off the
good one in
kids.
it, or it could have
that would
three
drop off the
really good
kids
ones
because
in
that's
it.
$15 right there.
That would be the one thing is a $5 purchase for a kid
Yeah.
is very affordable. A $15 purchase for a kid, and you're pushing it, especially in this current state of the
True.
world.
I
I
I
mean, you
think
could have the options of you could do both. You could set out a box of singles and then like have like a separate box where it's like a round thing and inside of it is three minifigures and on the top one is the rare one or the top one
Mhm.
is the vaunted one. But again, too, and it kind of goes to it. When the last line came out, we thought the goat herder would be everything.
Yeah.
By the end of that line, the goat herder was getting left behind because everybody wanted Basil,
Yep.
because everyone wanted those bat knights. So if the mood changes or the trend changes midway through, they could end up with a bunch of shelf talkers and they're just going to sit there. It'll just
Yeah.
sit on a vine and die.
And
It's a good idea. I mean, the other idea I had was to put them in PAB, but then they have to hold on to them for longer than they want to.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
not going to be a smart idea. I think Chuck's point is totally on the money. I think there's no solution to this. We're just kind of gonna have to let it ride out and just see what happens. And if Lego comes up with a new situation, great. They have not addressed publicly the issue with the Beastmaster
I don't
being
think they will. They don't want to draw the
they
attention.
then they never will. And you're right, they're never going to because they don't want to bring that negative attention towards this product line that's been around for over a decade, almost two at this
Mhm.
point. Like it's been around for a very long time. There's no reason to do that. I think realistically speaking, my hope and fear is that this doesn't end up being like Pokemon cards, where now they're like locked behind, or like baseball cards, where
Yeah.
they're locked behind a service counter and you have to go up and ask for something because of high amounts of theft or scalping
I
and
mean, honestly,
things like that happening. That's my hope.
I wouldn't mind that because think about it. If they did it in
You
like
don't mind
Walmart,
that.
I would.
true. Well, if it's Walmart, Target, or whatnot, I'm somewhat okay with it. But like for Lego Store, if like those that want to get the full set, you can just go to the Lego Store release day and get it. Or Lego doesn't put it behind the counter because there really is no counter to put it behind. But
Yeah,
then again,
I
there's those who don't have a local Lego store like us.
yeah, exactly. You got to
Yeah.
think of it that way. And I
I,
think
There
that's
is no
I
perfect solution.
there unfortunately is no perfect solution, and I think that's a good spot for us to wrap up here. I would like to thank both of our guests for coming on. Scott, it is always a pleasure to have you, and Chuck, it was a pleasure having you on for your first episode here. We will definitely be having both of you back at some point down the line as well. Um, Chuck, would you like to plug your socials real quick so people know where they can find you?
Yeah, so Instagram, silverlair.cf. You'll see I try to post every day, don't quite make it, but it's close. So it's usually updates of what I'm working on for my medieval village or what I've done for a monthly build or a challenge of some sort.
We'll put that in the description below.
Yes, it will be in the description below. I would give Scott that opportunity, but he doesn't have any socials that he wants to plug, so there's also that. You can just find Scott here whenever he shows up because he's now our most frequent guest ever. Um,
and you're also like the only place that'll actually put my face on the internet. So
then there's that.
We
yeah.
could just turn off your camera from now on if you want.
Too late now. He's been in 3 episodes.
No more.
Good Lord. If you
Look,
have not
the Florida
already,
Panthers are beating the Bruins 2-0. Haha, spoiler.
anyways, before Cam starts to cry,
Hey,
if you have not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified when all new episodes go live. Fridays at 2. And if you're watching this today, be aware that there is a new episode of Time Capsule coming out on Tuesday. It is on Lego Batman, the original theme from 2006. Our good friend Bren the Brick Builder will be coming on for that one. We will be very excited to have him on for that and have him back on the show again. You can find us on Instagram at the Brick Hour Pod. You can find me on Instagram at Langster Builds. You can find all kinds of progress on the Batcave and the Batskavator once I get going with that. We will see everybody in the next episode. Have a great night. Happy building.